The Rise, Rebirth, and Legacy of Lunch Date. The landscape of Philippine television changed forever in February 1986. Following the historic People Power Revolution, the country was in a state of cultural and political rebirth. Television networks underwent radical restructuring, and GMA Network found itself at a crossroads. Its long-running pioneer noontime variety show, Student Canteen, which had dominated the airwaves for over a decade, suddenly felt outdated. Audiences craved fresh energy, new faces, and a break from the rigid structures of the past. On June 9, 1986, GMA Network officially retired Student Canteen and launched its boldest gamble yet, Lunch Date. Broadcasting live from Studio A of the old GMA building on EDSA, the show was tasked with holding the crucial noontime block against its formidable rival, Bulaga, which was then airing on RPN 9. The original host lineup was a calculated mix of political credibility, musical stardom, and seasoned hosting pedigree. Leading the pack was Orly Mercado, a respected broadcaster and former senator, brought in to give the show an authoritative yet accessible grounding. Alongside him was the total entertainer, Rico J. Puno, injecting raw musical talent and street-smart humor. Completing the Pioneer Four were the charismatic Tony Rose Gaeta and Chicky Holman, the latter famously poached from Eat Bulaga years prior. In its first few months, Lunch Date offered a breezy, companionable alternative to the high-octane programming of its rivals. However, the initial stability would not last long. The Great Reformat and the Rise of Shades. By 1987, the television landscape grew increasingly competitive. The loose, conversational format of the pioneer era was failing to capture the youth demographic. Ratings began to slip. Network executives realized that to survive the noontime wars, they needed to transform Lunch Date from a simple talk and variety show into a pop culture phenomenon. This realization triggered the first major host evolution. Orly Mercado and Rico J. Puno exited the program to pursue other ventures. In their place, GMA did something historic. They shifted production to the brand new, state-of-the-art GMA Broadway Centrum, becoming the very first program to broadcast from the iconic venue. To spearhead this modern, high-energy era, the network hired a rising director and singer named Randy Santiago. Sporting a unique look defined by his permanent, mysterious sunglasses, worn to mask an eye condition, Randy became an overnight sensation. His style, effortless charm, and musicality triggered a massive wave of Randy mania. For the first time in GMA's history, Lunch Date began to beat Eat Bulaga in the ratings. Recognizing the power of the youth market, producers surrounded Randy with a revolving door of teen idols and energetic sidekicks. This period saw the introduction of pop heartthrob Kino, balladeer Louis Heredia, and a hyperactive young dancer-drummer named Willie Revillama. Simultaneously, seasoned hosts like Tina Revilla, Lito Pimentel, and the legendary queen of songs Pilita Corrales were brought in to anchor the chaotic energy. This reformat successfully established Lunch Date as the trend-setting capital of local afternoon television. The rivalry, the replacements, and backstage controversies. The success of Lunch Date did not go unnoticed by the master strategists behind Eat Bulaga. The ratings threat posed by Randy Santiago forced the rival show to dig deep into its creative asset base. In late 1987, Eat Bulaga countered by highlighting a precocious child star from their Little Miss Philippines segment, Aiza Sagara. The genuine, heartwarming dynamic between Aiza and the legendary trio of Tito, Vic, and Joey proved too powerful for Lunch Date's pop idol format to withstand. As Eat Bulaga reclaimed its throne, the pressure inside the Lunch Date studios began to manifest as internal friction and rapid host turnover. Chicky Holman departed the show in 1988, paving the way for a more ensemble-based cast. While the hosts maintained a tight-knit, family-like camaraderie on air, the intense production schedule and the pressure of the ratings war bred notable controversies. One of the most infamous incidents involved an on-screen confrontation that bled into reality during one of the show's annual Lenten drama specials. In the 1980s and 90s, noontime shows traditionally produced serious, dramatic mini-movies during Holy Week. In a highly publicized episode titled Luxo ng Dugo, mainstays Tony Rose Gaeta and Tina Revilla were required to film a dramatic confrontation. The scripted slap reportedly became too real, leading to real-world tension and intense media scrutiny that fascinated local showbiz tabloids for weeks. Furthermore, shifting network priorities meant that newer co-hosts like Willie Revillame and Kino were frequently shuffled or replaced as producers constantly scrambled to find a permanent formula to counter the juggernaut across the dial. The comedy wave in the final curtain 1991 to 1993. Entering the 1991 season, the musical Idol craze had cooled significantly. Lunch Date pivoted once again, transitioning into its final major evolutionary stage, the showbiz and comedy wave. The show abandoned its reliance on slick pop acts and instead embraced raw comedic performance, sketch variety, and massive star power. A new breed of comedians and movie stars were integrated into the core lineup. Brilliant impersonator and satirist John Santos joined the roster, alongside booming cinema comedians Dennis Padilla and a rising Audiio de las Alas. This comedic trio injected a chaotic, self-deprecating humor into the program. To maintain its musical prestige, the show heavily featured matinee sweethearts Manilyn Rines, Cheryl Cruz, and theater talent Janine Desiderio. By 1992, the show had evolved into a massive, multi-talented ensemble cast. However, the fragmented nature of having over a dozen hosts made it difficult to maintain a singular identity. Eat Bulaga had migrated to ABS-CBN by 1989 and solidified an unshakable grip on the national audience. Despite the incredible talent on stage, the writing was on the wall. After a valiant 7-year run and hundreds of episodes, Lunch Date aired its emotional final broadcast on March 19, 1993. Show ended, the ultimate validation of the Lunch Date casting strategy lies in the remarkable longevity of the careers it produced. It proved to be one of the most effective talent incubators in the history of Philippine media. Randy Santiago successfully transitioned from a pop idol into a veteran director and industry mainstay. Willie Revillame utilized his time as a supporting sidekick to master the complex mechanics of noontime crowd engagement, later building a multi-decade television empire of his own. Comedians like Audiio de las Alas and Dennis Padilla leveraged their daily exposure on the show into legendary box office film careers. In the decades that followed, the deep bond forged among the cast members remained intact. This was beautifully demonstrated during a high-profile reunion dinner in 2017, where Randy, Tony Rose, Louie, Tina, Lito, and John gathered to celebrate their history. And that is the story of Lunch Date, a show that didn't just fill the noontime slot, but permanently reshaped the DNA of Philippine variety television. If you enjoyed this deep dive into local broadcast history, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming retrospectives on the classic shows that shaped our childhoods. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.